uh, our own lawyers, the Uganda Christian Lawyers Fraternity, the schools, our partners, and the media. If they are religious leaders, we will also salute you. Thank you very much. As we were moving, I had lessons. I have a speech to give, but I also had lessons. I want to salute the local government leadership in this district. It's one of the very few districts that are very clean. Can we clap for ourselves? I moved around. I only saw one spot that had garbage, where there's a cloak. But the rest of the place was clean. And at the beginning of this month, I was in Zambia. Zambia is clean. So it brought me back. I said, oh, at least there is a place in Uganda which is clean. And that is Kasesa, and that is Port Potro. That is Kabarole district. Let's clap for ourselves. Because they are, they are terrible. So there are lessons, and I was speaking through on the whole subject of ending violence against women, against children, even against men. Are there lessons to learn from that? Yes, there are lessons. We are all struggling to make sure that there is peace in the home. There is peace in the community. But there are few people who are throwing the rubbish. And what kind of rubbish is that? Defiling young girls, torturing emotionally people. You know, you can have a father or mother, and when they enter, immediately they enter the home, everybody runs away. Then you know that is the dictator of a parent, isn't it? You know that is the dictator of a parent. Everybody will go under the bed, they will pretend doing work, yet they were happy when you're not there. Shouldn't we interrogate that on this day? Even when you're a teacher, teaching doesn't mean that you have to have a stick every time. My husband was a teacher for 18 years before he went into the church. But he used to teach very brilliant students, but even students were not very brilliant. But there was a school where they had never got first grades in science. But he became like a parent. Talk to the girls, talk to the boys, encourage them in physics, in math, and I got A's and B's. Some of them are engineers, doctors. A school in Kampala where no one bothers whether they have first grades. But he was very deliberate. Even when he saw a girl getting wayward, he made sure he needed to follow up with the parent and talk to the parents, because this one is a symbiotic relationship. I want now to go to the main speech, because I thought I needed to say that. So we are here because we don't want rubbish. And that rubbish is in form of defiling girls. It is girls who get pregnant. When you throw that rubbish, you're part of the problem. And so we want to find a cure, we want to find an answer, and that answer is going to be me and you. So today, remember that yesterday, the 16 days of activism started. And they'll end on 10th December. What do we want to do? We have started it here in Kasese, because it's an international campaign on ending violence against women and girls, but it unites activists, organizations, individuals, and government. Because I still sit in Ministry of Gender, and we have been talking about, having conversations about this whole campaign. At the global level, it brings closer to, it's close to 30 30th anniversary of the implementation of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, which is a call to end violence against women and girls. And I'm sure next year when we are for the Commission of Status of Women, we'll be celebrating these 30 years in New York. I hope to be there, but it's part of the journey, it's part of your story that we'll be able to take at that international global level. It is a time to hold perpetrators accountable. And how do we account? Why should we as a kingdom, as a people, allow young girls to be pregnant? It is unacceptable. Our law says 18 years, you shouldn't be pregnant. And so we should be able to protect the girl child. And I want to salute, and I want the young girls to stand up. Please stand up. But we are committing ourselves that if you have a problem, if there is anybody disturbing you, please find elders, find capable people who will protect you. Can you see this campaign in the Kasese as a positive move towards the national and global campaign? And the theme is towards Beijing +30, unite to end violence against women and girls. And our theme as justice, law, and justice, livelihood and health is to realign it. And we are saying our sub-theme is ending child marriages. And actually, I don't want even the word marriages. It's defilement. Let's not even hide the word. It is not marriage. I'm a lawyer by profession, 30 years. It is not marriage. In law, we define it as defilement. Let's name things as they are. So in the Kasese, if you say marriage, for us we will come. Council services, isn't it? For us we will come for you. We will not even talk about marriage because marriage is cosmetic it well. For us it is what? And the ingredients are harsh. And when it gets to aggravated defilement, it is even worse. So we want to address it and say that child defilement. And that is below 18 years. Touch not those little girls when they are below 18 years. That's what we want to pledge. So we have lined up several activities in line with the theme, and we have had the football debate competitions that we have done with 6 primary schools in Mkunyu and Maliba, sub-counties as pre-activities to the commemoration of 16 days of activism. And what thank Jackie. Jackie, you did a commendable job. As a board,
yeah, let's give her a hand clap.
I saw the exercise, the young people, and I said, I wish I was in that age bracket. But in the fifth floor, I don't do a lot. But when you summon me to walk, that one I can walk. But some of those exercises, at the fifth floor, I don't do much. There's a self-esteem as a requirement of fighting against GBV at school level. We had 3 debate motions, which were tabled. Parents are responsible for promoting teenage pregnancies. The other thing was local leaders are not playing their role well enough to end child marriages. Of course, defilement in the Rwenzori region. Perpetrators of violence must be held accountable and punishable for justice to prevail. So the interviews with survivors, parents, community members, religious and cultural leaders have been done revolving around questions like how each can help to end child marriages or defilement in the community, how each of these category of people can help girls to go back to school after giving birth, and how can we keep girls in schools. I saw child marriage.
Our teachers, the students, your pupils, all protocol observed. Asimwe Queen is my name. I work at the district as a Senior Community Development Officer and Gender Focal Person. I'm here to represent the department and giving some remarks on behalf of the ECDU. In the first place, I will appreciate the organizer of this event. Thank you so much. In most cases, we have always missed out such events. And there are some people who even don't know what it means by the 16 days of activism. Thank you so much, the organizer, our development partners, and in a special way, Justice Livelihood. Maybe if I can remind ourselves, the 16 days of activism always starts on 25th of November to 10th December. If you counted them from 25th to 10th December, those are 16 days of activism. So what are we talking about when it comes to 16 days of activism? This is a time, it is a global initiative. Of course, it started with the human rights. Everyone has a right. No one's right is supposed to be violated. It's even worse when the rights of the young ones are violated, and more specifically the girls and the women. People have always complained why women and girls will leave out the boys. Yeah, but when you look at the numbers, the most people whose rights are violated are the women and girls. When you are in school, the girl is pregnant, the boy also has pregnant, this guy, they are all school going. The boy will continue with school, but the girl will always drop out. And much as they go back to school, I believe they go through a lot. They are traumatized. You've heard the poems. Personally, I felt so touched. I've always shared with some colleagues, the males especially, that when all this happened, do we really feel or think if it's my own girl, if it's my daughter, if it's my sister? But we have always forgotten that. And we may protect those around us, our girls, but you leave the neighbor, forgetting they are always in touch. So this is a call to everyone. Let us fight GBV against women and girls. And for Kasese, I thank Kamaiba. Actually, that is the data. We are at 34%. Yes. So you can imagine, that means if you collect 100 young girls, at least 34% have given birth or have been defiled. And the physical violence, of course, takes the lead. Then the sexual violence is also the second one. And the other ones also follow up. I hear request that teachers, can we mainstream issues of gender or gender-based violence, sexual reproductive health in our curriculum? Previously, people used to fear to talk about this, issues of sexuality. Here you are spoiling our girls, you are spoiling our boys. To be sincere, these people know more than we do. We just have to tell them the impact. And what is it that they are finding on the social media? These people are good at searching, they know so many things, but we just need to help them and challenge what they find and they look for on the social media. Can we talk about it? Can we talk about the issues of gender-based violence? Can we mainstream sexuality in our curriculum to help the young girls and the boys? And to make matters worse, for Kasese, most of those incidences, especially defilement, rape, and so many others mention them. They are always, the perpetrators are relatives. So we have issues of incest in Kasese. The people, our children, are the perpetrators, are the same people who are spoiling our girls. So here we have a tendency of like, you have the children, you trust them with your relatives. We even have slogans that are contributing to this. You hear Musoni Mulerene Mukekenya, what is this? And people take advantage. Can we challenge all this? Our Minister of Gender, it's good to have you here. Can you help us in disseminating our policy briefs? OBR has come up with the policy briefs to challenge the negative cultural practices. This practice of marrying off the girls at a teenager age, even our king said no. I request the leadership in our cultural institution to disseminate this policy brief so that it can help us to fight the vice. And let us not entrust our children with the relatives. A bigger percentage are the relatives, followed by the border guys, then the teachers. Yet to the teachers, we are trusting you with our children. What is it that the children are going to learn from us? Are you living in the children's footsteps? Which message? Is it a message that is going to help them? Is it a message that is going to build them and they become responsible citizens? Or it is a message where they think about, like this one, we don't want even to hear about him. Let us do right things. Let us help our young girls. And we see them have a bright future. Kasese, we are tagged as people who are among the leading in those GBV cases. During lockdown, that is 2020, we had a baseline survey which was conducted. Over 7,139 teenage pregnancies were registered. And that is the time when the children were with us, the parents. So meaning they are even more safe when they are at school. And so parents, we've also left our roles, our responsibilities. Can we try to play our roles in our different capacities? I thank you so much.
The organizers, together with the Kasese District local government of this function. I have been sharing with the Minister and the RDC on issues raised by the Kasese Youth Link, the Kamaiba. So far, the presentation is done. It is touching. I've said if we had the gathering, if we had the community people getting this message, and outright I'm starting from there, I am calling upon funding of these people to have this message reach our community. The partners who are here, this message should reach the community. Especially during the holidays. You know, we are having the Christmas period. And people will want to have a lot of time to spend. So if we organize these presentations in our different locations, it will impact a lot. I have always said we have churches and mosques. Every week people believe, but they go there for being reminded. I am personally Muslim. We have a verse in the Quran that says, remind them because a reminder will keep them believing in the way they believe in their religion. In Arabic we say فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّ ذِكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, because that reminder helps the believer to stay committed to his belief. So, kindly members, let us invest in this venture. The message is real. We are from communities. There is a lot. At the reception meeting, I have recalled I was in that meeting, but I was there briefly because of commitments. I recall we have been piloting. I recall that very well. When I was saying, Kasese, we have hot spots, we have what? Can't we go full blast for the follow local governments? Then you said, no, we are piloting. Now I am telling you, kindly go full blast. The whole of Kasese, we are bad enough. You have heard of the hot spots in Mariba, Mungunyu, you have heard of Nyamamba, Wesumbu. I am telling you, those are the people who are reporting. Those people who are not reporting, it is even worse in those areas. And at this juncture, I call upon all our CDOs in those areas, all our parish chiefs, the elected leaders in charge of children and women, to start, to unite and report these cases. In Lugonzo we have a problem. Our people fear. We call prison hell. We call it death. When you say, let this one be taken to prison, you will be hated in that area that you are a bad person. You will be even isolated. It is a very big challenge. That's why some people don't even report Gitandukahu. But let us pronounce it, let us not cover it, let us fight it broadly and protect these children and protect the women. We are doing that. I kindly ask, the men are suffering more. And the men. This saying of saying men don't cry. Abalo memulo mubi nyibyo lo alagala. Banimu bahimata. Banimu bahimata. Mwabere yehona mutabalo mesibanga rero. Come up. I want to tell you, women have been empowered. They have now the cash. They have the money. They are the ones in business, every area. So they are the breadwinners, which used to be for men. Now, these men here, they are not valued anymore. Very few of them. Majority, they are no longer winning bread and they are being mistreated. This is the time to wake up and report the mistreatment. When they reporting, some women who have got the money, they are now sleeping in jeans and leggings. You want to touch, they give you. So that is another area. Then, like you talked of the boys, these girls we are fighting for, again they will want to be married. It is nature. So if we have not rehabilitated these boys to empower them, a lot is also missing. It is my request, as we invest in the girls, at the same time the boys be supported, be integrated. Kindly make research in the single schools. Make research. I have personally researched something about it, but I am giving you that challenge. Make research in single schools. Boys only, girls only. There are a lot of things that are happening and we are not aware of. It is another area you should invest yourselves in to fight all these things. To put across is about the cooperation. Kasese district has had challenges, disaster in natural form, where we have landslides, floods, drought, that is natural form. Then we have wars. We have neighboring Congo. We have diseases, outbreaks. And we have had a number of partners. We have been instructed by the DSO and RDC's office and at national level to map out all our partners, be it NGO, be it CBO, be it any civil society organization working with us. We map them, we deploy them at the same time. Because the data you have, you should share it with us. We use it for planning. We shall be having quarterly meetings to review our progress, to share with you partners the unfunded priorities. Unfunded priorities. Because you have come to support our area. Like our CDOs are not having motorcycles to go up there. The whole department does not have a vehicle. The vehicle which is there is specifically for probation and welfare, but not well serviced. We are constrained with the local revenue. But as partners in this area, our request is we are going to have a first one meeting of having all our development partners. Then we map you, we know where you are and what you are doing. We share with you our areas that are not funded and ask you to fund where possible. Together we shall change and unite and eliminate violence against children and women. Very key. The mothers are very key. And to anyone here, whether you are a man, you are a woman, you were given birth by what? A woman. They are very key. As we praise the Lord, the Most High, let us give respect. That is my last submission. You know, you are hearing of curses. Curses and blessings. First seek them from your parents. Because God Himself said, respect your parents, your days will be more. Kuli assurance. The commandments of kuli assurance. When you are obedient, you are respectful of your parents, you are assured of long life and well-being. Abana munimo. Ababuti mubasikoye ebintu binyubekende byabenene nemiyisa mukende kolachi mukende tungayo. At the same time, mwamara jemera bakende batsoma. For us Muslims, we pray 5 times a day. 5. But at every time you pray, again you say, God, I ask you to forgive my parents, to give them long life, to provide for my parents so that we can be nurtured well. You see that? Like they were doing when I was still a child. How sympathetic to them they were. They were sympathetic while I was still a what? A child. We say it every 5 times a day. That is one of the logic why you see Muslims very prosperous in business world. When you baga when tata nyije bigisa nari ni aenda na mama wini muhe bigisa nyamtolera kakati nari ni watu ubye nari mane bindu college. I want to thank you again. As Kasese district, we have had a problem. Our funders, as Kasese district, in these 16 days of activism, because they are going to construct for us a gender-based violence shelter. So they said at that very day they are going to have a groundbreaking ceremony as we celebrate. So that function, my request is, these are the preliminary arrangement and what? Yeah, the today's function should at the same time happen on that day. When it is when? 5th December. And we are requesting that the venue becomes the Rwenzori Square, so that it is centrally celebrated. My request is kindly let us not stop here. Let us have the gathering, let us mobilize, let us continue supporting until we kick out gender-based violence and develop Kasese. I say this for God and my country.
What I went through till today, and unfortunately at I think during my O-level, my father died. Later, after some time, mother died. So I was left as a child head, even when I was still in school. So there are so many fundamental issues that we must address if we want to have results. First of all, as government, we are doing our part. Number one is to make sure that we fight poverty, because that is one of the core reasons why we have child marriages. You have heard of parents who negotiate with the defilers because they can easily be compromised because they are poor. So as government, we are doing our best to make sure that we empower our communities, we empower our parents to make sure that they can ably feed their children, get clothes for their children, take their children to better schools, because a better school gives a child a future, shows a child that is a better future than the poor schools. So ours is to make sure that government programs such as PDM, Emioga, and so many others are used by the parents to empower themselves, to make sure that they are wealthy. Secondly, you know that our policy on UPE, when we started it in 1997, we only had 2.5 million children in primary schools in the whole country. But within 1 year, we jumped from 2.5 to 5.3 children, including girls. And no wonder that's why we have so many women now who are very empowered, women in bigger positions, because of this intervention of UPE and USE. So for us, we are doing our best. The other intervention is to make sure that clean water is accessible. You remember, those who are of my age, that many of the children who suffered going distances to fetch water were the girls. So this intervention was also looking at making sure that we ease and work for our young girls not walk long distances to fetch water, which is a basic necessity. So as government, we shall do our best, but also want to thank the partners to always awakening us. So besides that, we have made laws that will deter such a kind of acts. But like the cow said, one of the biggest problems we have in Kasese, once we arrest one person, the whole village will wake up and go to the RDC's office. Omwana wetu, omwana wetu, omwana wetu, akikolero mwangomo, because it's a heavy penalty for the filers. You put pressure on us, or you put pressure on those who have reported. You want to chase them out of the villages because they have reported the filer. And that's why we're at 34%. Why Kasese? So let's change our mindset and make sure that we fight this vice. I want to assure you that this is not a very easy task and it will take time. Like I told you, 78, that's when I was born, to a 16-year girl. 78. And this is 2024. So it's a vice that takes time. We have to be prepared in our brain that we are not going to completely sweep it off, like the madam was talking about, but it's a gradual process. And we must attend to the core reasons why this is happening. Change our culture, talk to our religious people, especially those religions who think it is okay to marry off young girls. Talk to them that this is not good for our girls. Finally, I don't want to talk much. For the actors, Navasika wala anu navojo. Society grows under two wings. Society is like a bird, a chinyoni. One wing is a female and the other wing is a male. When one wing is weak, that society will never grow. Kunde chipupa chiri hai, echindi, echobokali situite man. And that's why we keep rotating in poverty, because we don't take care of this wing. So let's empower our girls to make sure that our society is well balanced and our bird will fly and development will be seen.
Representative of the cow, the technical staff present, the teachers, the children or pupils, ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity and honor to thank you for having invited me to be the chief guest at this important function. Thank you so much, and this was a very wise decision. You didn't go wrong. My name is Honorable Best Juliet Ferrigo. I'm the Minister of Gender, Rehabilitation and Disability Affairs of Singapore Renzururu. When I hear about gender-based violence, defilement, sexual reproductive health rights, teenage pregnancies, child marriages, it really touches me so much. Actually, the children who presented the poems, they really brought out my speech very well. And I don't know how they copied it, but I really thank you because you have really communicated my speech. But all I need to say is to thank the development partners for the work that you are doing. Thank you so much, and may the Lord bless you. And I would like to thank Kasese District Local Government for working together with the development partners in ensuring that information is reaching the grassroots level. I thank Madam Jackie and Reverend Alphonse and other staff for justice, livelihood, health, for the work that you are doing in Kasese District. Thank you so much. We have had several engagements with you, and indeed whatever we have been discussing with you, you have ensured that it is implemented. Thank you. Let's have an applause to Justice Livelihood. Thank you so much. As of Singapore Rwenzururu, we are really grateful. Rwenzururu, we are also trying our best in ensuring that we are fighting, we are ending child marriages. I would like to assure you, the partners, yesterday I was in Wesombo sub-county. I met the cultural leaders. We have a structure of the chieftains, the clan leaders, the native chiefs. I also met the political wing, the technical staff of Wesombo, the women leaders, and the religious leaders. I had a meeting with them discussing, and some survivors discussing about ending child marriages. But I just want to give you a simple story that I found in Wesombo. One, there is a father who impregnated a daughter, and this has caused domestic violence. The mother in the home has left. The man was jailed but died in prison, and this girl is now staying with a neighbor. The family has disassociated themselves from her. So, the young children, you can see what it means. Kindly concentrate on books. Abana musome. Tukabwa tuti echisomo wa mwandro owitwa buti twangaba siyira. Are you getting my point? Mwana mowa omubuti amakuhererya ekisomo inamakuhererya ekyosi ekyawukayisunza kwa kihuho. Omunjacha ukesaba nomubiri, omunjacha iwatrokerolera omubuti wawu omwabuke kurubwewe nomwabusya kurubwewe bakarya bakakura na marwe akasa nerya marwe lyayo akayisunza syasende erindo kwa sipatara. Beitu wamabiso utasoma omubuti wawu si wangatroka erimurolelera. Iukendelangira omubuti akakwa ahabwa eribye babibwambo mumutwalo mwasikani mumutwalo mu x-ray utyesente senga sewetu. Iwalangira mama we wakakwa tata we wakakwa ahabwa etande Somalia. So tungabasaba abana balere muhamberere ekisomo. Mwamabere hamberere ekisomo nisya ofisi siwene mukesa bya musyo nomunjacha omusenga kende sarangira ati omwana oyu nga muherero wa minister. Ninyu mukasubo mwabesambe byatwa munja. Mwana mo. Kandi nobonga ni minister beitu ngali town clerk owe ibanda Chanya town council. So ngale hanu nga nasomire no ba minister bakambira yabo kusangwangana kulireti beitu wamabere tandisoma iwamenya wote ebyawo byamasiyaraho. So ngabasaba abamama nabatata muhambire ekisomo sikiriho kumunyekyo nobonga nawute ebitumbe byosyebi nesahanunga kuburendengane musome masters e business administration e Uganda Management Institute kenga ne mukora ngakora erwa chabalazi erikacha katano chikachika cha mukana cha sand ena yasoma mwana marangere chikamanisa yachi ngawite ekiroto kyayi ekyanga isunza enabirererya. So ngokomuniaho obole mundu atunge ekiroto kyewe. Tunemukania okwakatabanguko muliworo eBwesombo munga natasamenyera ekindi kitsibwe kiriyo ende abamama abatata baberekera emibiri yabo yaba mama. Meeting that I had in Wesumbo, I was with the mothers. The mothers clearly testified that the fathers are no longer doing their roles. They have left everything to the mothers. A mother has to wake up in the morning, fetch water, prepare children, go to school, and do all the work at home. So the mothers were telling me that, Honorable, we are overwhelmed by work and we are breaking. At the end of it all, we have developed hypertension due to stress that we are going through. So as we are addressing issues of violence, the health of our mothers is deteriorating. We really need to engage the fathers to play their roles. The other issue is about sexual reproductive health rights. We are engaging the children with the mothers in telling them on how to be disciplined, to go to school and do other things, but we are leaving that issue down. And I want to assure you that this is the most important issue that is even leading to the child marriages. The fathers and mothers, we are also rendering a disservice to our children. When my daughter is impregnated, instead of taking this case to police, we are instead conniving with the parents of the boy. They are giving us dowry and we are letting our girls to go and get married at an early age. I call upon the mothers and fathers here. Let us fight this vice. It is really bad. At times I imagine if I was also married off at that early age, what would have happened? My future would be no more. Okay? I'm also requesting the development partners to have this message reach our children in schools. Let us move to these schools. Last month I was in Resori High School. I talked to them. The children were very grateful with the message. So I'm requesting that if this message is taken to the schools, like you have done, yes, thank you. But there are those who have been left behind who are not taking up this message. Let us have this message reach the children from senior 1 to the upper classes, even the primary sections. And we have this career guidance. We keep guiding our children so that they can grow when they know, when they have a vision. This will assist us a lot. As OBR, we have radio talk shows to ensure that I talk about ending child marriages and gender-based violence on these radio, the radio talk shows at the different radio FMs that we have here. At least I know someone has heard my voice on the radio. And I'm requesting the development partners that in case you have any other message to pass on, please engage me. I am ready to go with you so that we have this message disseminated to the people. And as a cultural institution, we realize that we have those negative cultural practices that have led to violence. Tunawite omusoni ni mukekenya oli amwaka kibuwa. Tunawite abatata kuruwa etubabye bakabuwa ebikaleta obutundirya bomwa ebyabireka abana ebaenda kitya neryo bintu ebyo tunimwenda tukakoraki. Actually His Majesty Omusenga Charles Suzile Mumbere Irimangoma abere hamura neribwa ati ebintu ebyo itwaleke libya tukabibwako munenge chindu echa kawolekana yako omusoni mulene mukekenya echa kabere munyakasi mwaka omutukuru ukamuteka kwanda ebindu ebiringa ebyo byaberereka kwenene iwe yomushakuru mukuru sukuru w'omwana inabina bihindahindana n'omutukuru wewe kusanga ati nimukali wewe neryo ebindu ebiringa ebyo tukabwa tuti aye tunawuta ekitabo kyatu abiruhurucha ekikakanayo kwa policy briefs and guidelines on family and gender relations of Obusenga bwa Rwenzururu. This book has been launched and now it is being interpreted in the Lukonzo. Twabiri tusubye mu Lukonzo kusanga tukaisunza ndi abasi akuruba twabali mu byalo. Abise marango abakuruba behanda batroke ribi bangena kisoma ibakanyo kwa mwati oyo ahosi ahaba kachungere platform. Kusanga Obusenga itwe tukatunge platform omwacherero omwabugeni ukali unaute platform. So tukawenda omwati oyu ahiko kwa bantu. Kandi tonga Obusenga bwa Rwenzururu twabiri bwatuti sehale omwana w'obukali oyu kenditahibwa ata ute certificate eikaro mu Obusenga bwa Rwenzururu. Nero certificate eyo itwe tukaherera yayo omwana ow'obukali oya tukamenyende abirihika okwa myaka eyetitahibwa. So wamayatahibwa yo ukalaba enyumasi orucho tukaibya twamamenya tuti wabiritahibwa eraba mu enyumasi orucho na utukendi Burundi kusangwa sutatahibwa omwabuyira bwetunga kutwala omwana obukali bwatwala natahibwa. I was engaging Her Royal Highness yikaba hechetombe kandi kakangana yanga ulendi wamabetandi ambaranda eke ukabyuka ikorera ko butsebo bonani echakabere mubye bana bengeso omukonzo kabwati omwana murwa kali enise wamatunga ngeso ukabyandeke mbere nyomubutu wakakuhimisa minene n'emyaka yawe yakanyalo kwa kiho. So ngabasaba ndi mubye bana abengeso musika yabasomesi abenyu musika yababuti benyu musika ina bandi bana abamukasoma nabo kusangwa sole menya oyukasa kuwa tikyandaleyo eyatukalora ekisomo ekyo nabiri kikanyako ngahinda inga ni mubwanyete esukuru ya kama ibayirika presentinga mungarangira bana esebambara ndake abandi bana barubona mbere esi half plate omwabuyira bwatu omundu ukawo mambara ngo mukyara so utolera no mundu satolera karangira kiri mukati nga wambere mwachi nirerete half plate yo mabando sikindu kiwene nebyo babikora ki so ngabasaba abasomesya ende kindu kiringa ekyo bamama nabatata kireketa sabya amatu presentingira abana ngende baherereye mitro vitamitan obule badala kwa presentingira mugende nyo kwa maete mukasubayo mwasinja kusigwa limbolekerera Mama Vice Chairperson Board we Justice Livelihood Health mwasinja kutsevu elia sekasese nerangirinde mukakoro mubiri oyu mwasinja lisatu wa teacher nenyuma mabiri ya part of us mule Banyarwenzururu na Banyarwenzururu Karinyo bosi. Thank you and all the development partners CLF and others, Yaganet. Thank you so much, Justice Centers. Thank you. May God bless you. Ahawa kayingo no busenga bwetu.
Ronald, the Executive Director for Kasese Youth Link for Development. Today we had an activity of ending violence against women and girls at Boma grounds. And why we are here, it's about ending gender-based violence against women and girls. As a community, what should be done? What should be done? We should have what we call good parenting. The parents should guide their children. They should love their children positively, not negatively. 2, we should have community barazas and community dialogues. We call different category of leaders, the church leaders, the political leaders, the CSOs, children themselves. They should be involved in budgeting so that they can know what they want. Then another thing, the teachers. Most of the time, our pupils, our children, our adolescents, they are in schools. Teachers, they should know why their children are absent. They should make a follow-up at home. Maybe you may find a child is absent because she has got married to a certain place. So it is a role of a parent and a teacher to look for that child. If that child is misplaced, should report to different authorities like the police, CDO's office, and leaders. Another thing, what should be done, we should budget with our children. We should have planning, we should have quarterly meetings in our families so that we can know the challenges that we are facing.